the godfather to their children, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry.
Just Lilibet.
Yeah, to Lily. He's the godfather to Lily.
Prince Harry in panic mode as Tyler Perry threatens to expose explosive secrets. Prince Harry is reportedly scrambling to contain a crisis that could shatter the Sussex brand. Sources say the Duke of Sussex made a rushed and unplanned trip back to the UK, not for royal duty or family ties, but to confront a scandal that's rapidly spiraling out of control. At the center of the storm is filmmaker and once trusted ally Tyler Perry, who famously offered Harry and Meghan refuge during their dramatic exit from royal life. Now, Perry is allegedly preparing to release explosive secret recordings that insiders claim could deal a devastating blow to the Sussex image. Even more shocking, the source of the fallout may be Meghan herself,
who actually provided Harry and Meghan with somewhere to live when they first came to LA from Canada. Anyway, last week he was sued by an actor.
Meghan's silence could cost everything as Tyler Perry lawsuit ignites bitter fallout when Tyler Perry was slapped with a staggering $260 million lawsuit over workplace misconduct. Meghan Markle didn't offer a word of support. No public statements, no social media posts, just digital silence. In the court of loyalty, she vanished. But that silence may have come at a steep price. Insiders point to a little-known clause in Perry's private agreement with the Sussex that reportedly grants him the right to speak freely if his reputation is under attack. Now, with his back against the wall, Perry may be preparing to talk. The result? A looming PR disaster that could unravel what's left of Meghan and Harry's carefully curated narrative, with whispers of scandal, betrayal, and even fresh questions about the true story behind their daughter Lilibet's birth. The world watches as the Sussex empire teeters on the edge of its most humiliating collapse. Yet
no one is saying for a second that this is necessarily true or not true, but it did happen, and this is a major event in America when you get a lawsuit like this.
Godfather no more. Tyler Perry may be legally cleared to expose Sussex secrets. At the heart of this unraveling alliance lies a bombshell legal twist. An airtight agreement once forged between the Sussexes and their so-called godfather, Tyler Perry. That contract, according to insiders, included a strict non-disclosure clause, but with one critical caveat: if Perry was ever publicly disavowed or distanced, his silence could legally end. That moment may have arrived. Following Perry's $260 million workplace misconduct lawsuit, Meghan Markle quietly erased all digital traces of their connection. No support, no acknowledgement, no loyalty. Legal experts now believe that move activated the clause, giving Perry the green light to speak freely. And he reportedly intends to. Sources say Perry isn't just armed with vague accusations, he's readying voice notes, emails, and private conversations from deep inside the walls of Montecito. With the contract now potentially compromised, the veil may finally lift on what the Sussexes hoped would remain buried. The question now: what happens when the truth comes calling?
Perry, Lilibet's godfather, stands accused of sexual harassment, and it's a very, very big lawsuit.
Meghan cuts ties with Perry, but this time, the silence could backfire when Tyler Perry found himself entangled in explosive workplace misconduct allegations. Meghan Markle's response was swift and surgical. She didn't defend him, didn't release a neutral statement, didn't offer clarification. Instead, she erased him. Photos of their time together reportedly vanished from her social media. Mentions of Perry were quietly scrubbed. The once celebrated bond that saw him offer shelter during the Sussexes' royal escape was wiped clean as if it never existed. But the calculated digital purge did more than raise eyebrows. It raised suspicions. To critics, it didn't just look cold, it looked incriminating. Meghan's history of distancing herself from people when they become inconvenient is no secret, from estranged family members to former palisades. But this time, she may have picked the wrong person to vanish. Tyler Perry isn't powerless. He has influence, he has documentation, and now, he may have a motive. Even Perry's surprise role as Lilibet's godfather always raised questions. There was no public christening, no official palace acknowledgement, no verifiable details of a religious ceremony, just a brief, unconfirmed voiceover in the couple's Netflix series. For months, skeptics have asked, was it ever real? And if it wasn't, what else was for show?
Shakedown. He's being pursued for $260 million compensation, as you said. But if he's found guilty of this, if Derek Dixon's lawsuit succeeds, this could prove
Godfather or PR prop. Tyler Perry's potential revelations could shatter Sussex narrative. Was Tyler Perry ever truly involved in Lilibet's life, or was his Godfather title just another calculated move in the Sussex's growing PR playbook? Questions are now swirling as the carefully crafted image of Perry as a pillar in Harry and Meghan's chosen family begins to collapse. Sources close to the situation suggest the label may have been little more than symbolic, perhaps even fabricated dues to lend legitimacy and emotional weight to their Netflix narrative. But now that Meghan has reportedly cut ties, the illusion is crumbling, and Perry, feeling discarded, may be preparing to speak out. Insiders claim Perry holds a trove of behind-the-scenes materials, voice memos, planning documents, and even call recordings dating back to the early stages of Harry and Meghan's content development deals. These alleged recordings reportedly capture conversations where scenes were discussed, interviews were strategized, and emotional moments were deliberately crafted to maximize public sympathy and profitability. If these revelations come to light, the fallout could be severe. Meghan's carefully curated image of authenticity would take a major hit. Netflix could face scrutiny for platforming staged content. And with potential breaches of contract and legal implications looming, the Sussexes may soon find themselves not just at the center of a media firestorm, but entangled in courtroom drama as well.
March, and we are on the Freedom Flight. We are leaving Canada, and we are headed to...
From raw to rehearsed, Sussex narrative faces collapse amid Tyler Perry leak threat. The Sussexes built their brand on a promise of raw honesty and unfiltered truth. But if Tyler Perry produces evidence that their story was rehearsed, staged, and strategically packaged, the foundation of their empire could crack and crumble. Adding fuel to the fire, Prince Harry's sudden, unannounced return to the UK has triggered speculation across royal circles and beyond. Sources claim he traveled alone, leaving Meghan in California, prompting whispers of internal damage control behind palace doors. Was Harry meeting with legal teams? Reaching out to royal advisors for protection? Or scrambling to preempt a media disaster if Perry's alleged recordings reach the press? Whatever the motive, one thing is clear. The prince, who once fled royal life to write his own script, now finds himself frantically revising it. And with the narrative unraveling, Harry appears more trapped than ever, racing against time to contain a story on the verge of collapsing under the weight of its own contradictions.
Again, like there's the Prince Andrew comparison. I think that I've come to expect this from Harry and Meghan. They are entirely self-serving, and they don't want to be associated. They don't want to be involved in this. And, you know, worst case scenario, Tyler Perry says he's innocent. But those text messages that are being shared, thanks to the
Meghan's media distractions fall flat as Perry's silence grows louder. As Tyler Perry's camp reportedly gears up for a potentially explosive move, Meghan Markle appears to be quietly deploying a familiar tactic: distraction. From blog updates to polished photos of herself sipping rose in carefully curated lifestyle shots. It's clear she's working overtime to steer the spotlight elsewhere. But media analysts aren't buying it. This isn't coincidence. One expert noted, every time she's under pressure, Meghan floods the media with soft focus content designed to humanize her. But the public has caught on. This time, the strategy is falling flat. Perry's looming revelations are bigger than a wine launch, and her attempts to spin the narrative only highlight how desperately she's trying to stay in control. The more she posts, the louder Perry's silence becomes, and that silence is starting to speak volumes. Meanwhile, Perry's possible disclosures have reignited long-standing speculation around the birth of Lilibet Diana. From day one, the Sussexes shrouded her arrival in secrecy. No hospital confirmation. No official medical records, and a total media blackout on her early days. Now, with Perry's involvement under scrutiny, critics are once again asking the question that never went away: what exactly are they trying to hide?
And I have to be incredibly careful with my words here, but over the weekend I spoke to a former employee who told me that our reporting has been incredibly inaccurate when it comes to how many people no longer work for Harry and Meghan.
I see, but you mean it's higher.
The Sussex credibility crisis. Tyler Perry may hold the match that burns it all down. Was Tyler Perry ever truly part of the Sussex inner circle, or just a well-known name used to prop up a fragile narrative? As scrutiny intensifies around Meghan and Harry's post-royal life, serious questions are being raised about the authenticity of the stories they've sold to the world. Among the most explosive was Tyler Perry used as a placeholder godfather for Lilibet to lend legitimacy to a storyline riddled with secrecy. Insiders say Perry may be preparing to step forward, and the implications could be devastating if he reveals that he was barely involved, or worse, used as a symbolic figurehead. It wouldn't just be a personal betrayal, it would expose a manufactured royal legacy built on fiction. And behind closed doors, the media world is already bracing for impact. Perry's team is reportedly fielding offers from at least 3 major media outlets, 2 in the US and 1 in the UK, all eager to land the exclusive. Because what's at stake isn't just gossip, this is narrative warfare. Perry is said to possess voice memos, planning notes, and call recordings from the very moments Harry and Meghan were developing their Netflix content. Evidence that could reveal how emotionally charged scenes, interviews, and truth bombs were strategically curated to generate sympathy and monetize trauma. If those tapes see the light of day, the damage could be catastrophic. Meghan and Harry's carefully built brand, anchored in authenticity, victimhood, and rebirth, rests on one fragile pillar: credibility. Should Perry confirm what critics have long suspected, that parts of their story were fictionalized for emotional effect, then that pillar may collapse entirely. The backlash has already begun. Hashtags like #TylerKnowsAll and #LILIBET truth are trending, with former supporters expressing outrage. One viral tweet summed up the mood: "We defended Meghan when it mattered. But if this was all a lie, we were used." The Sussex's once powerful truth campaign now teeters on the edge of full-blown exposure. And Tyler Perry. He's no longer the silent benefactor. He's the man holding the receipts. For years, Meghan and Harry presented a united front against the press, against the palace, against a past they said nearly destroyed them. They spoke of racism, exile, emotional breakdowns, and found family. They accused, they escaped. And they rebuilt their image, this time as global brand ambassadors for honesty, resilience, and reinvention. But now their most trusted ally may be preparing to tell a different story. Perry wasn't just a friend, he was a key character in their post-royal saga. He gave them shelter, protected their privacy, and was publicly named as Lilibet's godfather, albeit without a formal ceremony, official record, or palace confirmation. If Perry now reveals he was barely involved, or never even asked before the godfather title was announced, it would not only confirm a manipulated narrative, it would call into question everything the Sussexes have claimed since stepping back from royal life. Meghan's silence when Perry was hit with a $260 million lawsuit spoke volumes. Her digital erasure of their connection wasn't just cold, it looked calculated. And Perry, a man who made his name telling powerful stories, may now be ready to tell the one Meghan never wanted heard. Not the Netflix version, not the Oprah special, but the raw, unfiltered account of what happened behind closed doors in Montecito. And Prince Harry, he's back in the UK alone, not as a bold voice for justice, but as a man scrambling to contain the fallout. Whether he's meeting with legal advisors, royal handlers, or media consultants remains unclear. But one thing is certain: this isn't a routine visit, this is damage control. So what does all of this mean for the public? It means we've been sold a beautifully packaged illusion. It means the emotion, the tears, the tales of escape and betrayal may have been managed, crafted not as honest revelations, but as compelling content. And now, the truth is clawing its way to the surface. And Tyler Perry may be the one to unleash it. Now is the time to question the narrative, to listen, not to the spin, but to the patterns. Watch who Meghan and Harry elevate and who they discard. Notice the silence, the sudden distractions, the legal threats. You deserve the truth, not the Netflix filtered version, but the real story behind the brand. Fame does not exempt anyone from accountability. If the Sussexes lied about Godfather's births, or their behind-the-scenes dealings, then they must answer for it. Because sympathy without truth is manipulation. And Tyler Perry, he may soon remind the world that behind every image, behind every brand, behind every truth, there's always another version of the story. And this time, the cameras aren't controlled by the